This whole situation in the family has challenged my identity about like I am a plural wife and this is what I believe and this is our family. It's such a big piece of who I am, and now I'm like, now who am I? Never pictured myself as a monogamist, never thought it'd be just Kody and I don't think that Kody would ever live plural marriage again. I don't know for sure. Positive, successful experience, I would be interested in living plural marriage again.
Hi, besties. Robyn Brown and her victim narrative is one of the through lines of a series about sister wives. Robyn was the fourth wife that came into a family that had so many kids and a husband that was never home and had been swallowed in debt. And yet she decided it would be great because they had a reality show. We have seen Robyn lie a lot on this series, and Christine Willey's book exposed something to me that I can't unsee now anytime I see a clip of Robyn Brown. I know the new season is coming up, and it's kind of hard for me because I'm not really that engaged in the content, and now I just want to go back in time and dissect every single lie she's ever said. I swear, if Robyn Brown had $1 for every time she told a story that didn't add up, she wouldn't just have a big house. She would have bought the whole damn cul-de-sac. She loves to brand herself as the mediator, the peacemaker, the victim. She only wanted love and unity for the family. But when you actually compare what her words were to reality, she doesn't look at all innocent. She looks more sort of like the family's spin doctor. And I want to talk about some of the contradictions that I've noticed, or as fans call them, lies. And make sure you watch this all the way to the end, because at the very end, we're going to talk about the biggest lie that Christine Brown actually revealed in her book. And it all comes down to finances and the McMansion. And I was motivated to do this after I rewatched part of the episode from last year when they went to church. And she was sitting in the pews with her daughter. And Robyn said that she wanted plural marriage too much. She expected too much. She gave her all to the family. She did everything for the family. She even went as far as to say she feels as though she has been gaslit by members of the family who are making accusations about her. If Christine's book has taught us nothing, it reveals that while everyone else in the family suffered, Robyn and her kids lived the high life. Let's start with the basic lie of Robyn, that she never was the homewrecker and she never wanted to replace any of the wives. She has sworn up and down that she didn't want to take anyone's spot. She acted humble, even though she wasn't, just trying to fit in. That's how she claimed to be wrong. Because as we watched throughout the seasons, she became the legal wife, the only one of Kody's lot that Kody ended up living with, and the rest of the family is gone. She claimed she wasn't wrecking the home, but that's exactly what she did. She became a home wrecker. It's like she has to tell herself these lies, right? I think to live with herself. And the way that she manages it is making these lies like, I never wanted to replace anyone. But to me, what she's doing is it's like she's my guest at Thanksgiving. And she's like, oh no, I don't want that last piece of pie. And then she takes the whole pie and she goes to the car and she leaves. I mean, for real. Another one of her lies that I cannot get over is that she claimed over and over and over again that she was following the COVID rules. And this one always makes me laugh because she was supposedly the benchmark and the gold standard for COVID. And they acted like everyone else in the family was reckless for seeing kids and their grandkids. But she had a nanny that came over to their house and literally went there every single day. She had a nanny during COVID, even though Robyn was at home with her kids. And somehow this essential worker ended up giving her COVID. Not to mention, Kody and Robyn were also seen out dancing at bars, out to dinner, and out shopping at Victoria's Secret without masks in the middle of a pandemic. Another one of her lies was that she always said she wanted the family together. and that she just wanted the happy plural marriage. And she cried so much about it. But Kody ultimately ended up moving in full time with her. He abandoned everyone else, and she got a monogamous marriage that she always said she didn't want. And if that's her idea of togetherness, I would really hate to see her definition of divided. I honestly think that Robyn tells these lies because she thinks that we didn't watch what she did. And she's playing the victim. She really loves to play the victim. And in that episode I was telling you about, Robyn made the comment that she loved polygamy and her whole identity was being a plural wife. How? How was her whole identity being a plural wife? Robyn was 31 years old, I think, when she and Kody got married. And I put that in parentheses. How was plural marriage her whole identity? She spent 10 years in a monogamous relationship, 10 years in a monogamous relationship. She left the church. She wasn't married in the church in her first marriage. And then she wants us to believe that her entire identity was plural marriage. Your entire identity doesn't start when you're 31 years old. Just going to put that out there. Another one of her lies was that she doesn't control Kody. She always would say that Kody doesn't get run by his wives. I don't tell what Kody to do. And she maybe doesn't say it, but she doesn't need to. He just does it for her. And Christine wrote about in her book that Kody started speaking exactly like Robyn and parroting exactly what she said. He decided to reinforce the rules she wanted. He repeats her exact talking points, and he spends all of his time at her house. He's Robyn's puppet. He's her puppet. How is Robyn so dense that she doesn't see that we can see through her? Another lie number 5, is that I love Meri like a sister. This one is hilarious because Robyn bawled about wanting to support Meri through the catfishing scandal, but it also meant that she threw Meri under the bus every single time it was convenient while cementing her role as Kody's true partner. And Robyn was heavily involved in the catfishing because it occurred in her Facebook group, and she and her best friend ended up getting in contact with the catfisher, leading a lot of people to believe that Robyn was behind the catfishing to begin with, to alienate Kody from Meri. And then somehow when that all happens, it's right after they get a legal divorce. It's like almost like she wanted to kick Meri out of the family. Another thing that another lie number 6, is we all contribute fairly. Well, we've already learned in this book, Christine's book, that Robyn and Kody took all of the money, and that everyone else just got whatever was left. She always insisted that she wanted equality. She didn't want a lot of, a house, big balance. But during COVID, she started to get like her sights on more. And she said she wanted a massive house, right? While everyone else had to struggle to pay off debt and have drowning in medical bills, somehow Kody and her managed to get her debt paid off. Her house ended up being the biggest and most expensive, and the down payment came from Meri and Janelle. And she ends up with a lion's share of Coyote Pass. She ends up with, to this day, the biggest house of all of the women now, and it's 7,000 square feet. Okay. Yeah. So she definitely did not contribute, and she never had a side hustle that was of any value to anything. So that one is also a lie. One of her favorite lies is that plural marriage is sacred. She says, plural marriage is sacred to me. She always says it was her dream, and she's here for the faith and the unity and the principle of plural marriage. But if that's true, then why is she still there with Kody? And if that's true, why did she become the legal wife? Why did she end up with the financial security? Why did she end up in monogamy if plural marriage was sacred to her and what she wanted? She hid behind this piety and language of sacred plural marriage, but it wasn't ever about plural marriage. It was about her finding a way to win Kody and to isolate him and be the winning lady. Lie number 8 is I didn't break up the family. This one actually insults me because she flat out denies being the reason the family fell apart. And every wife who has left has pointed to the same problem, his favoritism towards Robyn. You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure it out. He spent all of his time with Robyn, funneled all of the resources to Robyn, and made decisions that benefited Robyn. Yet she has somehow today nothing to do with this breakup. She did. Kody and Robyn broke up the family. Another lie she would always say is, I don't control where he lives or where he goes. She acted like she had no influence over where he spent his time. She would shrug her shoulders and wipe tears and say, I don't know why he's always here. He was literally glued to her couch like it was made of Velcro. And I don't know, are we supposed to believe it's just a coincidence that he barely left her driveway? If she didn't control where he lives, then why was he always at her house? She also lied so much about Meri, and Christine actually spoke quite a bit about this in the book, not a ton, but enough to get her point across that she really resented Robyn for the way that Robyn treated Meri and that the way that she allowed Kody to treat other people. Because from Christine's point of view, if you are truly there for the family and the plural wife, or to be a plural wife, you would be truly about the family and the collective and for the greater good. So if you respected Meri, you wouldn't take her money for a down payment. You wouldn't take her marriage and demand that your children get adopted. She never protected Meri from being sidelined. She went after Meri's child and called Leon evil. She manipulated Meri all the time to keep her there so that when they needed money, they had it. It's just honestly laughable when you think about her saying that she respected Meri. She used Meri. What kind of friend and plural wife respects someone and then steals their marriage, takes their position in the family, takes their financial position in the family, and then takes all of the resources from that woman? And that woman that left him, the woman that divorced him, never got alimony, never got the division of assets she should have received in a legal divorce. And Robyn stole all of that. She always said that she wanted all of the kids and everyone in the family to be treated equally. And she wanted Kody to have a good relationship with his kids. And even last season said that she went out of her way to make Kody engage in conversations with his kids. But if you read Christine's book, you'll see that Robyn demanded more time, more resources, and more of everything from Kody. And she had no problem whatsoever with the fact that while Kody spent all of his time and money and resources on her and her kids, it didn't bother her whatsoever that other kids were going without a family or without a father. It was always, Christine actually said in this book, it always makes her laugh whenever she says that her kids never saw Kody, because in her book, Christine says her kids could go weeks and months without seeing Kody, and Robyn was with him every single day. And she knew that Robyn was lying when she was saying it on the show because she knew Kody was at her house. So how is it that she can craft all of these lies and think that we believe it? And the final thing I've noticed that she says all the time is that I've sacrificed so much. She always speaks about how much she gave up for the family. Like she helped with the kids and she wanted this and she gave, all the sacrifices she made. What sacrifices did Robyn actually make? She's became the legal wife. She has the most financial security of any of them. She has the biggest house. She's the only one Kody's loyal to. She won. I mean, if that's what sacrifices, sign me up, except for don't make Kody my husband. Even in the split of the family, Robyn is so selfish and self-centered that she makes the end of the family not about them leaving, but about how it traumatized her. This is how Christine described how Robyn treated her after she left Kody. There were several times when we were sad, and they asked whether I was sure. And Robyn got mad and made it about herself. Not, are you okay? I'm so sad for you, but how does this affect me? This isn't what I signed up for. And you should stay in a crap marriage so I can have my fake version of polygamy or something. Fake version of polygamy. And to just drive home the knife in the kidney about how much Robyn took resources from everyone else and even took it from Christine. Christine and Kody, when they were in Flagstaff, the first house that she lived in, that house that they ended up selling, when they initially bought that house together, he was on the title, right? Here's a funny story. Originally, both of our names were on the title to my house, but then he asked me to refinance the house. So just my name was on the mortgage. Why? I asked. He said, this way it will be an asset for you, he said. Gosh, that's altruistic and unexpected. I was a bit bummed because I had been excited to have our names together on the house, like a real married couple. We didn't own much jointly, but it was nice of him to worry about me. Okay, I said. About a week later, he told me he couldn't finance his house with Robyn. She hadn't yet found a place to buy if his name was on my mortgage. Oh, right. It felt like he was doing everything he could to disentangle himself from me and leave me as a single mom and to further entangle himself with Robyn. It was demoralizing and embarrassing, and it hurt that something that important to me could be taken away so quickly. So he said that he wanted her to have an asset, but Kody admitted to her that he couldn't qualify for the house if he was on that house with Christine. He couldn't finance. Do you know what that means? It means Christine admitted that Kody and Robyn couldn't afford the home that they bought. And so they ended up taking Meri's down payment, Janelle's down payment, removing Christine's mortgage from Kody's debt to income, and then Christine has to pay for everything. And then the audacity of them to then ask her to give them half of the equity once she left, which is insane. Do you remember when he asked for that? He continued to argue the 50-50 angle. All right, how about this? How about I keep the money from the sale of my house and you keep the property at Coyote Pass? Looking back, I wish I had negotiated for Meri's and Janelle's names to be on the plot so it would have been divided fairly, but instead I said, you're getting a better deal. So Christine's book exposes her lies, and it then also exposes that the entire reason they moved to Flagstaff was because of Dayton, but it was also because Kody's name was not on any of the titles that were on the homes in Vegas, okay? It was Kody only was on the titles with Meri and Robyn. Christine and Janelle's names homes were owned free and clear without Kody. Not free and clear, they had loans. Once they get to Flagstaff, he puts all of their names on all of the titles and he puts his name on all of it. He entangles them up all together so that when they leave, they can't disentangle himself from him and Robyn. He puts Robyn's name on more plots than anyone else. He steals, again, the down payment from Meri, from her equity. He steals money from Janelle so that they can buy a house because they can't afford it. They don't have enough money for the down payment. And then he steals the money from the Coyote Pass by ultimately, at the end of the day, even the way that they split it when they left isn't a fair split. Because under the law, a married couple is considered a unit. They're one buyer. Because it's community property. So theoretically, when they sold Coyote Pass, it should have been divided by a third, not by four, because Kody and Robyn's money is combined. So they ended up getting more money out of Coyote Pass than they should have, even after stealing all of that money from everyone else. So when you read Christine's book, you just see how many lies were told. It's outrageous. And when you consider that when the sale of that home went through and when they were talking about selling the house, Robyn said flat out that everything they had done together had been as a family and that they had always gone into things like equally. And she denied that she owed Meri and Janelle money. She denied that they used their money, and instead she doubled down and acted like they had always worked together like a family, knowing full well that isn't the case. It wasn't true, and that they couldn't afford this mansion that Kody and Robyn wanted and instead had to steal the money from everyone else. And then when everyone finally left, they fought tooth and nail to not give the people that they stole from their rightful share. Do you think on the show it would have been an interesting plot line if we all would have heard that Kody and Robyn were simply too broke to buy the McMansion? Because that's definitely not what they told us. They made it seem like the reason they couldn't qualify was because Kody's finances were all entangled with everyone else. That's not true. The reason why they couldn't afford it is because they spent all of their money on other stuff and had to steal money from other people. And then the bank had to figure out probably how to make this work on paper. Christine's book, man, it exposes so many lies. Make sure you pick up her book if you haven't yet. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.